The latest French election results have delivered yet another devastating blow to Marine Le Pen, and it is with an almost perverse delight that we observe this spectacle. The decrepit fascist demagogue, who has spent her career attempting to repackage the virulent legacy of her father's party, finds herself once again on the receiving end of the electorate's unequivocal rejection. The initial gloating from Le Pen and her vainglorious crypto-Nazi cohort about impending victories and the sweeping changes they would usher in, including halting aid to Ukraine and curbing French military support, has predictably turned to ashes in their mouths. It's not merely the rejection of their policies that's worth noting, but the sheer farcicality of watching Le Pen's persistent delusions. Each election cycle she emerges more wrinkled, more desperate, and more of a grotesque parody of the villainous crone she has become. Her repeated failures to capture the French imagination are not only a testament to the resilience of democratic values, but also a profound and delicious repudiation of her hate-filled rhetoric. Marine Le Pen's pledge that her party would obstruct Macron's foreign policy, particularly his support for Ukraine, was a barely disguised act of subservience to Moscow's interests. Her declaration that a national rally-led government would prevent French-supplied weapons from aiding Ukraine, and her refusal to support the deployment of French troops was nothing short of treachery masquerading as nationalism. It is almost poetic how every time a Nazi sympathizer opens their mouth, the electorate sees through the facade and is reminded of the intrinsic malevolence they represent. Her desperate attempts to portray herself as a mainstream politician, while retaining the core xenophobic and racist ideologies of her party, have done nothing but expose her for what she truly is, a relic of a hateful past struggling to cloak itself in modern garb. The repudiation of her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen, was never more than a cynical strategy to sanitize the party's image. Despite these feeble attempts, the national rally remains steeped in the same noxious ideology that has defined it since its inception. The French electorate has once again demonstrated their sagacity and resilience. They have rejected the venomous policies and divisive rhetoric of Marine Le Pen, opting instead to uphold the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Her defeat today is a victory for democracy and a powerful reminder that the forces of extremism can be defeated. In Paris, the air is thick with a palpable sense of relief and satisfaction at this reaffirmation of French values. Le Pen's dreams of political power lie in tatters, and she is left to lick her wounds, contemplating yet another bitter failure. Each time she returns, more haggard and embittered, she becomes a caricature of her own ambition, a twisted embodiment of a failed ideology. One cannot overlook the dark humor inherent in this saga. Marine Le Pen, with her diminishing political relevance, is a living testament to the enduring rejection of fascism. Watching her rise, spew her bile, and then fall, election after election, is akin to watching a villain in a farce who can never triumph, no matter how many times they attempt. It's a comforting reminder that some evils, no matter how persistent, will always be recognized and repelled by the better angels of our nature. The latest election results from France have once again exposed Marine Le Pen as the perennial loser she is. Her relentless campaign to instill fear and division within French society has been met with unwavering resistance. Her grotesque platform, a concoction of nativist paranoia and economic illiteracy, was rightfully seen for what it is, an existential threat to the values that form the bedrock of French society. The electorate's verdict is unequivocal. There is no place for Le Pen's brand of hateful politics in the corridors of French power. Marine Le Pen's failure to capture the French imagination speaks volumes about the resilience of democracy in the face of demagoguery. Her every attempt to vilify immigrants, demonize the European Union, and cozy up to authoritarian regimes has backfired spectacularly. The French people have sent a resounding message to the world. They will not be swayed by fear-mongering and scapegoating. They will stand firm in their commitment to a society that values inclusivity, tolerance, and justice. As Marine Le Pen retreats to lick her wounds, one can only imagine the bitterness that must pervade her inner circle. Each election cycle, she emerges more desperate, more disheveled, and more out of touch with the reality of a modern, progressive France. Her failure is not just political. It is a personal humiliation that underscores the futility of her divisive agenda. In the grand theatre of French politics, Marine Le Pen is a tragicomic figure, a relic of a bygone era clinging to relevance in a world that has moved beyond her. Her story is a cautionary tale for all would-be autocrats and demagogues. No matter how loudly you shout, no matter how much bile you spew, the forces of decency and democracy will always rise to meet you. Marine Le Pen's defeat is a victory for all who cherish the ideals of the French Republic. It is a reaffirmation that the principles of liberté, égalité, and fraternité are more than just words. They are the guiding lights of a society committed to progress and justice. As we celebrate this triumph, let us remain vigilant and resolute, for the fight against extremism is never truly over. But for today we can take solace in the knowledge that the better angels of our nature have once again prevailed. Let us bask in the schadenfreude of her downfall, for there is a unique satisfaction in witnessing the repeated failures of a figure so steeped in malevolence. Marine Le Pen serves as a living testament to the enduring rejection of fascism. Her recurrent failures are a farcical reassurance that some evils, no matter how tenacious, will always be recognized and repelled by an informed and principled electorate. The French people, in their collective wisdom, have once again refused to be seduced by the siren song of far-right populism. They have chosen the path of righteousness, demonstrating that the forces of decency and democracy will always prevail against the dark allure of demagoguery.